Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Trading Room for Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Thank you to all the veterans out there. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. Trade your charts, not mine. All right. This is our only session today. Less than a minute before market open, we've got a get in sync short on the micro Russell. There is a long on the YM. It's also a get in sync. Market opening momentarily. Unleaded has gotten everything it needs for power of quitting. Crude picked up a target 1 and break even, so that is POQ there. The YM zips off at market open, too fast to catch that trade, unfortunately. Unleaded in a long trade. Pound Aussie in a long that's just hit money management. So our stop will come to 158. Micro Russell triggering in. This is a sizable trade. It's a large trade, so target 1 is definitely money management. We are already trailing because of the size of the trade. Target 2 will be a actionable target. Just missing money management by a tick. Session low 54.1, money management at 54 flat. Stop at 57.1 at the moment. I think 56.8 was our entry, so just 3 ticks of risk still on. Unleaded stop still at 99.29. Soybeans is in a short trade that's gone too far. The Pound Aussie trade is a pretty small trade. Money management is 1 pip away from target 3. So I would go two lots at 3, 2 lots at 4, and 1 lot on the trailer from my normal position size, 111. All right, we stop out for the 3 tick loss. All that basically a break even. And then we go long. That's hit money management already. So it is trailing. And there's target 3. So essentially a break even and then a winner. And we had to go add a tick to that. through target 4 and trailing 60.3 for the trailing stop. YM still gone too far. Looks like soybeans just stopped out of that early short trade. Micro Russell still pushing higher, as is the YM. All right, Micro Russell stopped out. Short trade on the YM. Triggering in. Just barely large enough for target 1. All right, we get target 3 on pound Aussie, so this will be a one and done session. Looking for target 4 now. And there is our money management, or rather our trailing stop at 158. YM hitting target. That is going to be a one and done. 21 ticks to the target. Trailer at 552. Yeah, 552. Now 547. Quick short on and there's another target 3 win and target 4. And we're trailing at 61.1. So break even and 2 wins. Still in the third trade. That's the trailing position remaining. YM now trailing all the way to target 2 and further. 522 for the stop. And we're past time to look at Micro Russell, so I'm going to put the unleaded chart on top of crude for the moment. That one, yeah, 30 seconds after, I would say that's definitely avoidable. This looks like it very well could have been a valid trade. Went below the stop and then back up to the entry. The question is, did it hit the entry before it hit the stop? If it did, it's a full loss. If it didn't, it's an avoidable trade. There's a short. We'll come back and take a look at that. And a second loss, and another law I lost. It may be first or second. YM does stop out. Finally at 506. So nice trade there. Let's put the, we do have a 10 o'clock crude mini session. Let's put the YM, the unleaded over the YM over here. All right, let's take a look at this trade. Mark it back up and see what happened when. And there's a new long trade. Go back to our original, and so there's our new long. It's going to take a minute to get back to that. Our line there, and then make it a 4-second chart. Micro Russell moving down. Unleaded. This is a POQ trade for unleaded up to 99.37. All right. Let's go back and find our mark-in. There's our mark-in time. Nope, it did not hit the entry. Yellow line is our entry before hitting the stop, then going back up to through the entry. So that is a valid loss. And we did trigger into the long. Unleaded and Micro Russell both continuing to trail. 99.48 on the unleaded chart and 58.7 on the Micro Russell. Just shy of target 4 on the pound Aussie. Target 4 is 174. I believe we may have just, yeah, we just hit it. So 4 positions come off. 26 and 34, 60 pips on the targets. Now we have another position on the trailer. Potential short trade, or long trade rather, on soybeans. That trade hasn't set up yet. just potential there. We don't have stop and targets yet, just the possible entry. There it is, and we need a pullback to 23, and there's the pullback for the entry. So we are in the long. First trade of the day. Break even on micro NQ, 2 losses and a break even. And now short for trade number 4. Micro Russell 57.8. $57.3. Micro Russell. Unleaded, no change. New session low on the Micro Russell. New session high on unleaded. Please do say hello in the chat. And there goes unleaded. Stop moving up again. $99.68. Micro Russell stop moving down again. 56.3. 55.8. And now 55.3. 55.1. And money management and target 2 on the micro NQ. 54.3 for Micro Russell. 99.79 for unleaded. $159 for the pound Aussie stop. Soybeans definitely in the long trade. Stop and reverse to long on the micro NQ. No adjustment because we already had targets in hand on that. So we get a little bit more than break even. Two losses, a break even, and a win in trade number 5. One more loss. If this is a loss, we end the session. If not, we can take one more trade. Micro Russell still pushing down. Not loading well for Micro NQ. 53.8 for the stop. Big trailer on that trade. 53.3. And that is a full loss on trade number 5. So that is loss number 3 on the micro NQ. We'll bring unleaded back down here. And unleaded stops out at 99.84. One and done session there. Down to 52.3 on the micro Russell. Soybeans trying to work up through the 50 EMA. Bouncing off the 2. Well, can't really say bouncing off of. That's right. Counterpunch didn't have the squeeze zone, did it? Yes, it did. That white trade should have been a squeeze zone. Oh, no, a squeeze zone is something different. That's right. It's chop zone on this, not the squeeze zone. $51.8 on the micro Russell trailing stop. Yeah, break even and 2 wins. Second win is huge. Good morning, Mike. Well, that's good. Spotlight took a fairly quick one, and well, actually not so. Yeah, pretty quick one and done. Not big. Just a target 1, and the 1 tick stop. 14 ticks. And the micro Russell stops out at 51.8. And we didn't get far enough on the pullback to get above the 22 EMA for the setup, so no trade there. You have to get above it. The entry would have had to have been above the cyan line on this bar. 52.7, and that was up around 53.4. Of course, that was a full crude contract that got the one and done. Micro basically looks to me, I'm on looking at that on another chart off screen. Has had it had a target 1, same scenario. Soybeans trying to push up to target 1, still right there at the 50 EMA. Energy's moving pretty slowly this morning. Unleaded being very successful on its one and only trade. Showing a short now that hasn't triggered. Yep, one and done short on Spotlight for target 1. Not if you're trading target 2. All right, crude pushing up. Looks like my data is running a couple of minutes behind. No, that's not nice on cloud control. And Spotlight also in the long. Soybeans did hit target 1. The stop comes to 23.5. And we pick up 12 ticks, which is 3 points. less than, well, no, it's not less than 2 minutes till 10 o'clock start. So unfortunately, my data is about 7 minutes behind. Real-time data, not too much different from where I am on the chart now. So crude is not moving much. Found Aussie data doing just fine, but everything else is lagging. Testing $61, but doesn't want to push through significantly. That's a short on the micro Russell. Actually, that is a break-even stop out. That's hit money management. And it was a one tick down, and then went up there again. So that's a break even. 2 break evens, 2 wins on 4 trades. Pound Aussie stops out at 159. There's 2 pips on the trailer, 60 pips on targets. Yeah, I don't know what's slowing things down. I keep falling further behind. Crude price back down to 60.90 in spite of what my charts are saying right now. The yellow trade goes too far to be a get in sync for the 10 a.m. mini session. Add-on blue trade has not, and in fact, it probably is going to get in sync coming with the pullback. So I'm going to mark that up. All right, so that was a break even long on Micro Russell. Another very successful trade. Trailer at 60.7 up above target 4. So this was a target 3 and target 4 win. Trade number 5. Yep, I needed one tick. $61.2 for the stop. I'm 10 minutes behind, but almost that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, about 8 minutes behind on the data. Actually, about a little more than 8.5. Yeah, I'm bouncing pretty solid off the 20. 8.5 minutes ago. It's back down around, it's just above 60.90. 60.92 is the current bid. on live, my live account. $61.7 for the micro Russell. Pound Aussie is done. Soybeans is in its power quitting trade. Target 1 in hand, trailer now at 11.24 flat. That's counterpunch. Spotlight full crude is in the long trade. Hang in about 20 more minutes. We'll have to take off. YM just off of setting a new session high. Micro Russell just barely almost got to the session open and pulled back some now. It had set a session lower just a little while ago. Let's take a look at Micro NQ and see what. Yeah, it's just off session lows. Divergence in the market a bit. All right, crude back up in the mid 6090s. My chart's going to have to pull back to 6090 and then come back up to 6095. Basically right back to the entry. An entry at I think 6096 or something like that. Yeah, 6096. And we're just below that, 6095 for bid. Still got to come back a bit more before going back up. But it does seem to be going back up, 96. Not very fast moving. All right. Micro Russell stopped out of the long, pulled back, and then set up a new long for trade number 6. So that's 3 wins, 2 break evens, and we are in the final trade of the morning. Custom catapult trade plan. 14 tick minimum needs 1 more. Soybeans is not going much of anywhere. Oh, you mean maybe because it is, Mike? It is Veterans Day. There's a pullback that gave you the possible stop and reverse short, Mike. And it continues to get further behind. And I'm full 10 minutes behind now. And Micro Russell is a break even. No, Micro Russell is full loss. First loss of the morning on trade number 6. I'll take that. There's a move back up toward 96. And the price actually is back down around 90. Looks like it's oscillating back and forth between 61 $61 or just below it and 60.90. All right, so all 3 of our market indices are done. Pound Aussie is done. Soybeans target 2. And finally decided to make a move there. So next gold target is target 3. Target 2 is worth 19 ticks. Another 4 3/4 points. 7 3/4 points so far. 2 positions still in play. Money management at 24 1/4. So 9 3/4 points basically in hand so far. 2 points of that still in the final two positions. Based on the trailer, where the trailing stop is. And how is cloud control doing? It looks like we're down into the mid 80s, 860, 85. $60.82. Yeah, I suspected so when I saw that price level. So that stop is down at 69, so I'm still in good shape. Now let's see if it's bouncing up again. Got down below the balance line slightly, but bouncing off the 20 simple moving average. I've lost another 2 minutes. I'm going to have to close it down in about 5 minutes. And crude slowly moving. Soybeans kind of stalled out. Unleaded was one and done this morning. Actually, crude and soybeans are all we have left. Pretty successful morning considering that things appear to be fairly slow. Pound Aussie, Micro Russell, 9 o'clock crude, YM, unleaded, and soybeans is in its power of quitting. So micro NQ being the only down chart so far. 10 a.m. crude mini session kind of being sideways. Well, it's getting to be 10:30, and I'm going to have to head out for an appointment. So I will see everybody tomorrow. Regular 9:30 session. No crude oil inventory session tomorrow because of the holiday today. And I will not be doing a crude session this week. The inventory report is actually going to be Thursday at noon. So everybody have a good one, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, Mike.